Hey everybody, have you been wondering what's been going on with the real estate market lately? Some of the changes, maybe you're a first-time home buyer, maybe you're looking at some luxury real estate. Well, stay tuned because we've got lots of great answers for you and some good conversation with my Realtor Dream Team. My name is Kim Hawk. I'm known as YouTube's fairy godmother of real estate. I'm here in the Near Disney YouTube studio, and we concentrate on the 25-mile radius around Cinderella Castle. We will be doing 3 shows a week. The one that you might also be interested in is on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. My Realtor Dream Team comes together and they talk about all kinds of cool stuff that's going on in that Central Florida area. But today, what I would like to do is show you just an example of us sitting around talking about some of the really important stuff that's going on. I will be back at the end of the show to answer any of your questions. Plus, I want to give you a couple of updates on some really good information about some people are thinking the interest rates are higher than what they are right now. I've got good news for you, but you got to stay tuned until the end of the show and I'll walk you through it. Hey everybody, my name is Kim Hawk and I'm known as YouTube's fairy godmother of real estate, and I'm here with my Realtor Dream Team. You will see them on the Near Disney YouTube channel, and we decided to have a little bit of an executive update on what the market is doing in 2025. So a couple of topics that our viewers have been asking about is what's going on with the market, and so we thought we'd just take a couple of minutes today and talk about different segments. One of the segments might be what would be if you are a young person and you're looking to move to Central Florida, you just got your first job, and so sometimes we call that person a first-time home buyer. Anybody have any insight on some helpful hints right now?
There are a lot of options definitely within our 25-mile radius of Cinderella's Castle that we like to focus on. And there's a lot of great neighborhoods with resale and new construction that are good options for all sorts of home buyers, being first time or otherwise. And there's also the option of multifamily homes in this area that we're finding. You know, we see that the average first time home buyer age is mid to late 30s in the United States right now. But, you know, we work with a lot of great lenders that can help out with a buyer at any stage in their life. And so that's, you know, what we're here to do is find the perfect fit for all of our clients. Mm-hmm.
That's what sense from resale to new construction to we're happy to find that perfect rental fit for you as well when you're just trying to. Sometimes people want to test out an area, stress out the neighborhood that's best for them near Disney, and eventually they'll fall in love with it and really kind of have the mentality that it's home and then want to actually commit to buying into it. And we want to be part of every step of your process when it comes to all things near Disney living.
So what we can talk about too is places like Reunion. Sue, you're very familiar with Reunion, where they are so used to multi-generational families living in a home. You want to talk about that?
Reunion and in Kissimmee as well. There are 6, 8, 10-bedroom homes, some 4-bedroom homes with a separate guest suite. That is the type of home I live in. You don't have to separate your family, and in a lot of cases, you can bring your family back together. You know, if parents are wanting to retire or if kids aren't quite ready to be out on their own, check into a multi-generational home, and we have a lot of information about that. So just get in touch with us.
Yeah, I love it because I see a lot of these young people working really hard and making some good income, truly making some really good income. And so if they add some of that money towards mom and dad's mortgage payment too, then all of a sudden they have a much larger home, and then perhaps they have a full wing where they have their own kitchen. Mom and dad have their own wing too. And so it just makes sense on so many different levels. But for those of you that are saying it's time to move out of mom and dad's house, you know what we need to do is encourage our folks that are sellers to possibly help buy down an interest rate. The interest rates have seemed to just stall. resale. They haven't been coming down. But remember, I was selling real estate back when it was at 18%. I remember my mom as a broker, she was selling real estate at 21%. So these numbers don't seem that high to me, but when some people are stalling, what we can do is we can say to a seller, hey, instead of lowering the price of that house, or maybe lower the price a little bit, but also can you contribute up to 3% towards our buyers' closing cost or paying down that interest rate, then all of a sudden that monthly amount that's going out is actually less than what you're paying for rent. And remember, when you're paying a mortgage, you're able to have that interest rate written off of your taxes. You can't do that when you're in a rental. And remember too, God bless them, because we've had this with so many people that have come to us and said they're tired of having to move year after year after year because their rental rate has gone up, right? And so we want to cause as less pain for people as possible. We're always out there trying to be creative and figure that out. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, I think Sue's got some good information for those that believe you can only be 55 or higher for some of these cool areas in Central Florida. Let's talk about that.
There are a lot of new construction, 55 plus communities that, again, it's got to be new construction. The builders are allowed fully by law to sell to buyers who are 45 or up. If you want the community and the activities and the neighbors, and most of the 55 plus communities are gated, and you want that security, it's a great option. And then for buyers for 55 or older, if you have a 19-year-old who is fully employed, fully in school, one or the other, they can live with you and there's no time limit. So it's a great option, and there's a lot of new construction going on. A lot of great incentives right now for some of these larger homes and the next gen homes in 55 plus. So yeah, give us a call.
Yes, I love that. So if you check out our Near Disney YouTube channel, definitely new construction. About a third of the people that are buying right now are buying new construction. And what are some of those reasons? One big reason is a lot of times that interest rate is lower. That builder is buying down that interest rate. So new construction also gives you some time. Sometimes people are saying, I want to go into a new area, but I know that house isn't going to be finished for 9 months. So you go ahead and commit, you put your down payment now, and then you're saving up and you're prepared in 9 months. And usually, a lot of times the rule of thumb is if you buy the least expensive, the lesser expensive property, I'm talking to those first-time home buyers right now, usually your equity is going to grow pretty quickly there. Sometimes when you're buying the most expensive property in an area, your equity is not going to grow as quickly, right? Because you're already at the top. But now we're going to speak to those people that have no concerns about interest rates. There's a lot of you out there that are cash buyers, and there's some really beautiful high-end properties that are in Central Florida, everything from, say, Celebration, Florida, to Disney Golden Oak, to Isleworth. We represent those communities as well. Anybody have any insight on why anybody would want to live in any of those areas?
Yeah, well, we're seeing a lot of beautiful homes in Winter Garden and Windermere, and those communities have a lot to offer. We saw that after the pandemic, people wanting to do things outdoors, and these communities have amazing farmers markets and music festivals and really charming downtown areas, and it's really attractive for people, especially we have a lot of people who come from up north, who are, wanting to come down to Florida for, there's a reason why we call it the Sunshine State. And there's just a lot of benefits to being here in Central Florida, and we're definitely wanting to show you all of them.
Yes, absolutely. And a lot of times we find with our high-end buyers, there's a lot of tax implications as to why you would want to live in Florida. You can call us. You can call me specifically if you'd like to. Sometimes when you're finishing out a business up north, there's a certain amount of time that you want to roll that out. And sometimes people are wanting to finish that as a Florida resident versus another state, because you're going to save
quite a bit of money on taxes. So there's rules and regulations on how you can do that, but we find that a lot of times people that are buying these high-end homes, or even people that are buying high-end homes as a second home because they want to make sure that they're covered, that their homestead exemption being in Florida, nobody's going to take the house away from them. You never know what's going on with the economy. And so to have a super high-end property in Central Florida, it's not uncommon for people to only use it as a second home. So as far as tips, what you get when you have a group, say as our team, we're constantly brainstorming ideas. If it's a resale, we have lots of great additional team members that are people that are handymen that we can count on. We can get a hold of them at night. We have title companies that know how to help us get some things into LLCs, if that's what your bellywag is. We also talk about what's going on with condos. Condos in Florida lately, all of a sudden, monthly fees have started really getting higher. And so what we find is condos are very attractive for people to live in. But one of the solutions that our group came up with is maybe when you're negotiating to ask the seller to pay 1 year of the condo fees up front that they're already paid for by the time the closing is. If you do that, then that does not come into a calculation of still being able to ask for maybe some monies going towards paying down the interest rate, because a lender is going to look at a situation like 3% is the max. But if that condo fee is already paid for a year in advance, then that's extra bonus, right? And then you can start easing into realizing that the next year's condo fees you've been saving for this first year. That's going to help a first-time home buyer. Condos could potentially be the right price that you're looking for, maybe $300,000, $400,000. It's really not as easy to find a single-family home in that price point. We do, however, have a hot market list that we all share with one another about, hey, there is something coming up, a single-family home for about $400,000, single-story. Here it is. And we're all collectively helping each other so we can make sure that we give that information to our clients.
We also have townhomes.
Townhomes.
Townhomes are a great intermediate between the condo and the single-family home.
Yes.
It's that option too.
In the townhome too, it's wonderful when you have pets. We love our pets. And sometimes condos, sometimes people are like, I get a little tired of going up and down the elevator, or if you're lucky enough to have an elevator, sometimes it's stairs, right? So a townhome having that little courtyard potentially between a garage and your townhouse, that just makes it nice so you can let little Fluffy out or Furby out or whatever, protected. But we love what we do. We hope you see that. We are available. Our telephone numbers are here. On Wednesday nights, my dream team has a show, and we would love for you to watch that. On Fridays, we do an evergreen show talking about something that's really important. I think this is important. I think we should sit down quarterly and talk about what's going on with the economy. And we wish everybody the best. Any last comments? Anybody?
Please subscribe and like.
Yes.
Yes. And we're here anytime to answer any and all questions that you may have.
So we welcome your viewer engagement and all of your questions. The market's changing day to day, so it'll just we're trying to keep it sharp, and this is a great hub to just be fed with all of the fresh news about everything that's going on within a 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle and beyond.
Yes. Because you know what? It's really a magical place to live.
Yes.
See you real soon.
Make sure that you subscribe and like so that we can continue to give you up-to-date information on all things that are going around the 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle, because this is truly a magical place to live.
Well, we do hope that that information was helpful for those of you not only buying, but also selling, possibly looking to sell. And as promised, what I wanted to do is talk about one of those game changers that's occurring right now. And that would be, a lot of people think the interest rates are still in that high 6% spot. But we work with lenders all the time that we're looking for the best interest rates, what kind of programs do they have. And we have an example of a home that we have listed that's in Celebration that the list price is about $940,000. And so we ran some numbers with them, and we wanted to recommend, a lot of times people are thinking, hey, maybe I should put 20% down so you have no private mortgage insurance. Always a good idea, right? When you're in that caliber, when you're looking to purchase that isn't normally somebody that I would look to as a first-time home buyer. This is probably somebody who has sold another property. They have cash that they want to put their 20% down. I might suggest that, hey, why don't you consider maybe 25% down too, and look at your numbers per monthly? Because one of the biggest questions that we get asked, what's the monthly payment going to be? What's the monthly payment going to be? And that's why this interest rate variation is so key. So the big point of differentiation that we want to talk about now is I think sellers are at the point of which we have a seller in Celebration, like I said, beautiful home, wraparound porch in the front, looks at conservation, has a bedroom on the first floor with a full bath, beautiful, new appliances in the kitchen, butterfly garden, a backyard that's fenced in. And they said, hey, I am willing to help a buyer right now buy down an interest rate, right? So no longer is the day of you can't ask the sellers for anything. I think the sellers are saying, hey, we want to work together so we can have a win-win for the buyers and the sellers. So as an example, what I wanted to do is I wanted to pull this up. If a buyer were to contribute a little bit less than 1% back from the sale of the home to buy down the first year's interest rate, that would be dropping it down from 5.875%. This is what we've gotten on this one. 5.875% is a normal. But if you get the buy down, the 1 year buy down, that drops it down to 4.875%. You guys, we're probably not going to see that anytime soon. So it's really key to work with a realtor group that knows these type of strategies that are going to help you because there's also a possibility if they will do 2 years. Let's say if they're doing a 1% buy down for the first 2 years, that's going to give you a 4.875 for year 1 and year 2. Many times people will sell a home after 2 years. They're trying to make sure they stay in there for the capital gains time. And then they're constantly just increasing the amount of money. So they keep moving up until the point where they're ready to right size. I don't call it downsizing, I call it right sizing. And then many times by the time they get to the point where they want to right size, they're able to pay cash for that property that they want to, do the next chapter of the life in. But also realize that if it's a 2-1 buy down, now that's going to cost somebody about 2.375%. But realize most times what I'm seeing, not all times, but a list price, usually if you're within 3% of the list price, that's where I'm seeing a lot of the homes come in. This is just as of today, we're looking at the end of February of 2025. So maybe sometimes it's not always best to ask for that list price to be reduced by that. Sometimes it's more strategies on, hey, can we get the seller to help buy down? If you do it that way, a 2-1 buy down, what that means is your first year's interest rate, you guys, is 3.875. That's those numbers that we thought we would never see again. So you'd have a full year at that. And then the second year would be 4.875%. And then after that, 5.875%. I think that's very doable. Not all sellers are willing to do that, but we do have one now. And like I said, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous home. I think you would love it. So I guess my big thing that I want to end up with is there's my number, 407-808-9845. Sure do hope if we can ever help you buy or sell any real estate, or we can help you in any way, please call or text me. And on Monday nights, we have a show dedicated to the town that Disney built, Celebration, Florida. On Wednesday, like I said, it is a 7 p.m. show on the Near Disney YouTube channel from my Near Disney Dream Team that is giving you recommendations on how to maximize your livelihood, right? And with the homes that you buy and sell. And then on Fridays, we try to do an evergreen video that hopefully helps everyone. We just recently did a video that was by request from one of our viewers. She was asking, what do you do with the kids for summer camps, because she was moving in from another state and had a comfort level of where they were living. Is there anything for kids to do during the summer? So be on the lookout on the Near Disney YouTube channel to look for that great video, because there's so many great options. And I know the summer seems like it's far away, but not really, because you want to book that stuff now before all these great places like Kabloom and YMCAs and churches start to book out. All right. Well, I'm getting ready to do a specific video for home buyers, and I'm going to do one specifically for home sellers. I look forward to sharing that. But otherwise, if you have any other recommendations on videos you'd like to see, please let me know. Otherwise, there's 770 of them on Near Disney YouTube channel, and we hope there's some nugget in there that's going to help you, because I'm the fairy godmother of real estate, and I like to make sure that you have everything available at your fingertips to have that dreamy home that you want to be at. Okay, well, until the next time that we see each other, be blessed, and I will talk to you again real soon.
Make sure that you subscribe and like so that we can continue to give you up-to-date information on all things that are going around the 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle, because this is truly a magical place to live.